Well, all right, everybody, good evening, and welcome back to the podcast. My name's Nick. I'm the general manager of the Akron Canton APA. Thank you for joining us for our weekly update about what's going on in the league. Before I get into things in more detail, I do want to take a minute and let you guys know I was down, not feeling great yesterday. I got some sort of weird sinus headache thing. My body felt bad, and the honest truth is, I didn't get a lot of work done yesterday. And Thursday is my normal office day. I usually get a lot of work done on Thursday, so unfortunately, I am a little bit behind. Fiddlesticks players, it's probably going to be until late tonight or early tomorrow that I get to the score sheets. I know that's annoying, especially week one, but I've only got so much time to get things done. But I'll do the best I can to get things out for you as quickly as I can. So again, my apologies and thank you so much for your patience. And with that, let's move on to the first segment of the show. We're going to do the community spotlight. We're going to take a minute to highlight some of the successes of our teams out in Las Vegas at the Whirlpool Championship in early August. Was out there with a number of players. I was on the event staff this year. That was fantastic and awesome. I had a really, really great time out in Vegas. It's always great to catch up with my old friends from Columbus and Boise and other league areas that I've played in. It was really good to see everybody. And our teams had some success out there. So let's see. We had a Jack and Jill team go out there. Melissa Powell, Rob Durant, and they managed to win a match before they got knocked out, so good for them. Our ladies team, Just Bring It, Val Holloway, the captain there. Unfortunately, they went 2-0, but the ladies still went out and had a good time and enjoyed themselves. We did find some success on the captain's side with team Who's the Boss. They went 4 up the winner's side, which is fantastic. So they actually got past the modified single, lost their 5th match. They managed to finish, I think, 33rd in the field, so that's a really good showing for them. I know that's definitely as deep as we've had a team go in the captain's event, so congratulations to them. Our other captain's team went 2-0, but again, out there with the ladies having a good time and enjoying themselves, and that's all that matters. That's what we're in for in the APA. Our 9-ball teams, 1-ball runouts and misunderstood English. I think you got Brian Macon and Bill Frum as the captains there. Those teams both went 2-0 as well, but again, we're in Vegas, so it's all right. And then we found some really good success on the 8-ball side. Get Sloppy with Tony Catnese as the captain and Pocket People with Jared Seagore as the captain over there. Both of those teams managed to win 3 matches, which is fantastic. So they finished tied for 65th out of 400 some teams. So a really good finish for our players out there. I know Melissa Powell won a mini as well. I think we had a couple other players take down some minis. So congratulations to everybody who made it out to Vegas. I hope you guys had a blast out there. It really is a good time. And looking forward to getting back out there with more of you this year. Decided that with the community spotlight, after we get through whatever little thing we're going to get through, we want to use this as an opportunity to announce our bounty players. If you guys aren't familiar with the bounty program, the way that works is once a week, we're going to randomly pull a player from the computer. And if that player plays a match that week or the next, we'll usually let it go for a week. The winner of that match doesn't have to pay their dues for the night. Pardon me. It's a fun little program, so I'm going to pull the bounty player now. I don't think we got one pulled for last week, so we're going to pull one for this week for sure. And this is all done randomly through our league system here, so give me just a second to pull a name up. Let's see, who do we get? We got... Make sure that this player is still active. It's kind of a goofy little thing. And we are on a transition. So, yep, here we go. Mark Rossetti. Rossetti. Mark Rossetti, who plays on 1-ball runouts on Wednesday afternoons. Congratulations, you're the bounty player this week. If you play a match and win, you do not have to pay dues, and same for your opponent. So let us know how that goes. And we'll announce the winners of the bounty matches at the end of the community spotlight as well. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Let's see here. Let's move on to some of the news and happenings in the league. I want to take a minute tonight to talk about some of the changes that we've made in the bylaws. If you guys don't know this, every 2 or 3 years we do a big bylaw update. We make some changes. For the first couple years that Steve and I have been running the league, we've made pretty significant changes to the bylaws. They weren't where we felt like they needed to be, so we've definitely taken some time to adjust, improve, and expand upon those. And just want to keep you updated on the things that we have changed going into the 2022-2023 league year. I want to start with one of the big ones. and that is that we have expanded the community leadership of the league, which is something we're really excited about. We have introduced area coordinators. Area coordinators function as division reps, but they also have some recruiting responsibilities for the league and serve as sort of, I don't want to say coordinators for the division rep because that's not accurate, but they're sort of first point of contact for the division reps. It's one more person that people can talk to and get answers from without having to come to us directly. We're not always available, so the more people we have available for you, the better. And honestly, it takes a little pressure off of me with my 55-hour work week. It's not always easy for me to get out there and recruit, so having those folks on board to do that really helps. We've done our area coordinator program on a geographic setup. So down in Fiddlesticks and in the Canton area, Bill Frum is our area coordinator. In the Barberton area is Julie Petrie. Julie is taking a session off to be with her family during some things that are going on, so we'll respect that and we'll have her back in the spring. She's a wonderfully fantastic person. If you know her, she's amazing. And then our Akron area coordinator is none other than everybody's favorite person, Jazzy. Like everybody likes Jazzy. She's been around this league forever. She's wonderful and fantastic, and she gets along great with Bill and Julie. It's a great leadership team. We're really excited to have them on board. And on that note, we're also going to be expanding our referee program. Bill Frum is going to be a big part of helping us do that. He's one of our certified referees. You guys have all seen him out there on the floor at World Qualifiers. He's going to be working with me a little bit to get some more referees certified. You guys may not know this, but if you're a skill level 6 or better and go through this certification process as a referee, we can get you out to Vegas if you don't qualify as a player. And the national office will help get you out there. So it's a really good program. If you've got a skill level 6 or better and want to be a part of the referee program, please reach out to me. Send me an email, nmarion@apaleagues.com, and let me know what's going on. Because we'd love to get you guys into that program and expand it a little bit more. Secondly, and this is a little thing that I've been trying to do for quite a while, when you give a sportsmanship rating to a team on league night, we really want to get away from the automatic 5. We see that all the time. People just give the 5, which is fine. It means we're having a good time. We're not super upset about that. But we want that 5 to be a little more meaningful. So going forward, if you would use a 4 as the default on the sportsmanship, we'd really appreciate that. We want those 5s to be reserved for the teams that are really going above and beyond and really doing something cool for league and making it a special thing. Let's see. Thirdly, and this is always in the bylaws, but I always highlight it when I talk about changes because I think it's really important. Please, 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 getting the skill levels right is my job. It's not yours. On league night, nobody has ever had fun talking about skill levels. It is never fun to sit there and listen to the opposing team complain about a skill level, whether it's theirs, whether their opponents. It is a form of sharking, and we need to start recognizing it that way. If a player is underrated, sitting there and harassing them and making fun of them or accusing them of cheating or accusing our system of being bad or bad-mouthing pretty much anybody in that situation doesn't accomplish anything. Because that player is not going to be able to play to the best of their ability anymore. I don't know if that player's skill level is incorrect until I start seeing them playing better. So please, skill levels are my job. Please leave those conversations out of league night. We don't want them there. We will penalize teams for sharking and for sportsmanship issues if it continues to happen. So please, 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 leave the discussion for skill levels between me and the player, please. Let's see. Fourth, the replay rule. We've had to clean that up just a little bit. We like the replay rule. It's been hugely great for the league, but we do have to rein it in just a little bit and make sure we are protecting competitive integrity. So going forward, teams will be able to replay 5 times per session, as opposed to having it be uncapped. At that 5 mark, a team could potentially lose their playoff eligibility. And I use the word potentially because we're going to do that on a case-by-case basis. If I find out a team needs to replay 6 or 7 times because somebody got cancer or something like that, we are not going to take that team's playoff eligibility away from them. That's not how we do things here. So, and we've also opened up the replay to use in our ladies and our masters format. That's limited to 3 times a session because those are shorter groupings of play. So please keep that in mind as we go through this session. We've renamed our last chance qualifier. It got a little confusing with having the last chance qualifier and the bonus round qualifying in the Tri-Cup and things like that. We were having some semantical issues. So the artist formerly known as the last chance qualifier will now be known as the Try Again Cup. Thanks so much to Derek Clauser for coming up with that branding. We really like it. I've even got the folks at the national office making us a fancy logo for it, so it's going to look cool. I'm excited about it. And this is a good one, the sixth thing here on the list. And this is a good change. This is a change I've wanted to make for a while. Going forward, if you got your printed score sheet in front of you and the skill level for a player on the score sheet is one number and on the app it's another, in the past, we've always played as what's on the score sheet. We are not going to do that going forward. The most updated information of your skill levels is on the app. So that's what we're going to start using for skill levels. So if you notice that there's a discrepancy, play as what you are in the app, because that is the most up-to-date information, and we can adjust things on the back end. You might get the occasional extra notification if we have to release score sheets, but we want you guys to play at a fair and accurate skill level, and that's the best way to do it. And then last thing I want to get into on news and happenings, and I've given up on trying to make this 10 minutes, by the way. It's going to be 12 to 15, and you guys are just going to have to deal with it. I can't do it. There's too much I need to communicate, so I'm settling on that 12 to 15 mark, so fair warning. The last big major change to the bylaw, and this is the big one, and I'm not going to get deep into it tonight. It's a deeper issue. I don't want to get super crazy into it. But this is something you guys should know is coming. If you've been coming to the scorekeeping clinics, if you've been coming to the captain's meetings and paying attention to all the communication that we've been putting out there, this is a change that we've been thinking about making for a very long time, and we're excited about it. We think it's good for our league. The short version is we are separating our cash payout structure and our world qualifier structure. In the past, when you show up to Tri-Cups, there's a small cash payout and a chance to qualify for the world qualifiers. We're doing away with that. Now, to be very clear, we are not doing away with paying out cash prizes. That is still happening. The exact same amount of money, if not more, than we've paid out at the Tri-Cups, we are still going to pay out. We're just going to pay it out at an event we're calling the League Championship, which will take place after the World Qualifiers every year. And it'll be based more on your session play as opposed to going through a qualification structure. And so we're going to advance all the cash that we've been putting in the Tri-Cups to that event and make sure that meaningful prizing is being paid out to the players. That's one of the big reasons behind it. You show up to the Tri-Cup, you get $100 a team, it's $12 a player. It just doesn't have a lot of bang for your buck. So we want you to get access to more meaningful prizes. At 8-ball, there's 12 teams throughout the Tri-Cups that win that $500 prize. At the League Championship, there will still be 12 teams that win a meaningful prize somewhere in that area. I don't want to say the exact numbers because we are exploring some sponsorship opportunities. We're exploring ways to increase that pot. And the advantage of us doing it at the end of the year is, well, if we have a really good fall or really good spring session and we have more teams than we budgeted for, well, we got extra money to work with. And that's a good place to put it. So it gives us kind of a way to close out the year with a bang. And the most important element of it, at least for me, is it's going to help us increase parity in our tournaments. We have noticed that the same teams are constantly making it to Tri-Cups and same teams are getting to World Qualifiers. And while that's not necessarily bad, when we have new teams that make it to Tri-Cups, well, they don't know what to do. They're not familiar with the tournament environment. They're not used to playing with sudden death. It takes more than one Tri-Cup usually to get acclimated to them in order to break through to a world qualifier. So we want to give more teams an opportunity to play in those Tri-Cups. And let's face it, nobody likes to pass through qualifications. It really is awful to show up to a 2 or 3 round Tri-Cup. You have one team get a bye and they win one match and they're in the world qualifier because they happen to be playing a team that's already qualified in the final. We don't really like that. So the advantage of making this structure change is we can now tell teams that are already qualified for a world qualifier that you can't come to the Tri-Cup. And I think that's really good because it's going to give us some more teams at the Tri-Cup. And by creating this league championship, teams are still going to be playing for something every session. There's still going to be a chance to qualify for the league championship every session. We're going to do some at-large bids like we used to for the world qualifiers. So your continual play through the session will matter. Again, our goal is to make it so that every match matters, every point matters. It's going to help us cut down on sandbagging. There's just all sorts of positive things that come with doing that. So I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions on that. I fully expect there to be questions in my email box before I get on the podcast next week. So we'll get into it in a little deeper detail. We're still clarifying some of the point structures we want to use to do that. We're working with the national office to do that. So sometime next week or the week after, we'll get into the nitty gritty of that just a little bit more. I don't want to get too much further into it. I'm butting up on that 15 minutes that I want to stay at. So I do have one last thing I need to do on the podcast. I need to acknowledge the folks who donated to St. Jude's last week, which is fantastic. We are still going to do that at the end of every podcast. I'm going to ask you guys to make those dollar donations. But rather than doing the drawings weekly, I think we're going to do them monthly. I think it's going to work out a little bit better that way. But we committed to the weekly drawing, so we are going to do one this week. We had $27 come in last week. That's not terrible, considering this was our first go and the number of viewers we had. I'm not upset about that, but with 27 donated, that means we got to give away a night of free play. So I got everybody in here who donated. Thank you guys very much for doing that. We appreciate it. And let's see, we've got... Let's take a peek at it. I'm going to do my best to try and show it to the camera, even though my handwriting really stinks. Nope. Is it going to get there? Yep, I think it's going to get there. It's Melissa Powell. Congratulations. You got a week of free play coming your way. Thank you so much for contributing to St. Jude's. I think you guys know by now how important that cause is to me. So with that, my goal is to make these one take, keep them around that 15-minute mark. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm going to kickstart the metaverse side of things sometime next week. Now that I've started doing this, I kind of got the bug, and I'm kind of really enjoying it. So thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure you hit that like button, grab that subscribe button as well, and please give me some feedback in the comments. If you're going to talk about league-related stuff, I'd ask that you keep it off of the YouTube comments. We want to keep those discussions in-house. So if you've got questions about what's happening as far as our league logistics go, please go over to the Facebook page to have those conversations. That way we can keep them all locally here and with just us. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to do my best as we go to kind of pare these down a little bit, but I had a little to get through today, so I'm glad we did. You folks have a wonderful night. Best of luck to you week 2, and we'll see you back next week. Have a good night. Seriously?